Okay, this is a brief tutorial on making miniatures at 10mm height for Legions Imperialis. Alright, so first you're going to want to go ahead and import all the STL files for the one model you want to create. We'll speed through this. You'll want to make sure that you select unsupported files. And you can hold Control as you select to bring multiples in. Scroll the mouse wheel to back up. Hold Shift while clicking with the mouse wheel to pan around, or you can also use this key. Now you're going to want to move everything to the middle and reorient it and get into position. So I'm going to speed through that. One thing that's helpful is that when you click on an object, you can go ahead and set the origin by moving the geometry to the origin, which is always at 0. That'll speed things up. When you rotate, you can hit R, then X or Y or Z to rotate about the axis. As you're rotating, you can also then type in the numbers on the keypad to rotate to that angle. When working in Blender, especially for 3D printing, I like to have it in an orthographic projection mode rather than perspective, just to be able to see all the millimeters more clearly in the background. When moving things around, you click on it, and then you click the button G. You can also click on these different arrows here on the axes to orient to the exact position. That's going to be close enough. All right. Now we got everything for our orc model all set up and ready. Now it's time to start merging. So to merge, you're going to want to go down to the modifier properties and add a new modifier. But before we do that, let's make sure we have the correct model. So I'm going to start with the base body model, modifier, boolean. And we're going to start combining things by clicking on union. We'll do it fast. And then I like to use the dropper to go and select the object that I want. All right, selected the orc head as is shown here in the object field. I'm going to go ahead and remove the head just to make sure that it did select everything in the geometry for merging. Looks great. Hit the drop down, click apply, and then keep going through the rest of the body. Seems to be doing a subtract for whatever reason. Change it to exact. See if that does anything better. And it does. So we'll keep that. All right, now we have the body all as one. I'm going to go ahead and start saving some space by deleting These parts I no longer need. And then I'm going to go ahead and remesh this guy to more simplified shape. So as another modifier, go down to remesh. And I'm going to use voxel, but I'm going to go ahead and increase the voxel sizes from 0.1 meter each. Now remember, the basic unit in this is actually millimeter when you import it into a slicing software. So 0.1 millimeter, we're going to increase that to a 0.45, which I found turned out pretty well. And that's going to be fine once you shrink it down to a 10 millimeter height. Apply. Then I'm going to add in a mesh just to give me a good reference here. And I'll just go ahead and do a cylinder. Now every time you add a mesh, there's always a little menu that pops up here. So you can go and open that up and do more details. So the depth, or in this case the height, it's going to be 10 millimeters. And that'll give me just a good reference. So I'm looking at this. Of course, this line here is 10 millimeters as well. So I could use that. But I'll just throw it there for visual sake. Now, click on my main model that I want to shrink down. I'm going to hit the letter S for scaling, but you can also hit this button here on the far left and scale it on down. Before I do that, I'm going to change the origin back to the 3D cursor, which is this little red and white circle down here. That'll save me a little extra time. Now hit S to shrink, scale, go down to 10 mils. Guess I want eyesight at 10 mils. And there we go. Beautiful. Now, that is it. So I'm going to go ahead and export this little guy. File, export as an STL. And then I want to make sure I have the selection only clicked on. And I'm going to go to my folder location, save it as whatever I want, and get it ready for slicing.